Hi there, welcome back to the channel. So the most amazing thing happened on my way to rock and roll heaven today. I was looking for chrome pickup rings. That's what I was doing. I was going to drive to American Guitar Boutique, my local music store that I go to. My friend Tim works there. He runs it, owns it. And I was going to find chrome pickup covers, you know, because I was missing the bit of chrome that I had on the P94s. They have a little chrome ring around the pickup, and it just gave a little splash of chrome up here, and it just looked a little flat. I didn't want to get rid of the humbuckers, and I thought they sounded pretty good. They're just old cheapies, and boy are they cheap. Like, the more I look at them, they're just, you know, cheap, really cheap plastic pickups, which is, you know, that's fine, but they're super cheap. And they just kind of are ugly, you know. They're just kind of bleh. So I was like, you know, if I had some chrome pickup rings, that might be good. And then I thought maybe I'll go to Tim's and just see if he has any cool pickups. I was thinking maybe like a zebra set, you know, like a white and black set of pickups to put a little color splash. And I was going to see if he had any chrome pickup rings, right? So I go to the store, I walk in, and I go over to the countertop, and I'm looking around to see what kind of pickups they have. And they actually had some nice Gibson P94s, but I actually had the copy, you know, that was in this guitar. And you know, I wanted humbuckers, and these sounded good. These sound good, and it made me realize that's what I want for this guitar. I want it to just sound like a Gibson, like a, you know, I just want it to sound like that. And so I wanted to. I thought maybe, you know, I'll just see what kind of humbuckers he has. Maybe he has something that looks good, that'll look cool and be, you know, a step up from these. Nothing against these, and I would rock these for sure. So if you're out there and you want cheap pickups, you know, this can work fine. But I wanted something magical for the guitar. Every guitar I have has something about it that's magical to me personally. And I built this guitar, and so it has a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and I put some really nice parts on it. This Tone Pros bridge, for instance, Switchcraft jack, Bourne's pots, orange drop cap, tusk nut. I'm going to upgrade the tuning machines tomorrow. I'll do a video about that. So I was putting quality stuff in, but the pickups, you know, were generic, these generic cheapies. And I just wanted something magical. And I love the humbucker tone, but it's just kind of flat aesthetically. You know, I'd sort of planned the guitar out with the P94s having that chrome ring. It just kind of made it kind of look like Brian May's build, you know. And the more I started thinking about it, the thing that I would have changed was to have chrome covers on it, you know, on the humbuckers. So I was thinking, well, I could just get chrome covers. But then I thought, well, if I have exposed humbuckers, I don't want to cover them because it changes the sound, blah, blah, blah. I'd rather just stumble in some pickups that are really cool that already are covered, and I wouldn't be changing them for aesthetic purposes, in other words. And you can always take covers off of pickups too. So anyway, I looked into the countertop, and boom, look what I find. I find these Gadow pickups. Nice little box, Gadow pickups. And I was like, what's Gadow pickups? And it turns out Tim has some stock left over from his California stores. So he had a couple of stores out in California, and he might have had a store somewhere else as well. And so he had some new old stock type stuff, like old pickups and things like that. Really cool stuff that was still, you know, in the packaging. And this happened to be one of them. So he pulls it out after he'd showed me a couple of things, and boom, look what he brings out. This beautiful, beautiful looking pickup here. And then you'll see, as you look on the back here, it says Vintage Bridge. And it has the ohm reading, which is 8.98, which makes it like 9K. And so when I saw them, I was like, oh man, I have to have those. That's going to look so good, you know? Just picture it. It's exactly what this guitar needs. I really kind of was leaning towards more of an old vintage kind of wind, even though I want high output and I want some gain. Pretty much any kind of Gibson style pickup, you know, with the PAF output somewhere between 5 point something and 7, something like that, up to 9 in this case, or 8 point whatever. That works for me. It sounds like it's enough gain, it's loud enough. You don't lose highs, and you don't have that like super compressed sort of dry sound, you know, where you have so much mids from having so many winds. So yeah, I'm like really excited about this. I really like this company. That when I started reading about the owner, his name's Ryan Gadow, and he was building guitars, and it seems like the main guitar he's known for building is a semi-hollow body, kind of Gibson style, PRS style, semi-hollow body build with P90 pickups that I think he did the winding on. And he talks about winding the pickups, and he before that he sold Lawler pickups and one other boutique brand, and so he said he was basically trying to voice the pickups along, you know, like Lawler's, something like that, you know, like the boutique style. I don't know if it was hand wound or scatter wound, or who knows. Most everybody does it on a machine, of course, because it's a zillion winds or whatever. This one says vintage neck, 7.45. So anyway, they're potted. You can see the wax. There's like a little bit of wax residue, and they're just really cool. You know, like you can tell that they were hand done, handmade by somebody who put a lot of care, a lot of love, a lot of TLC into it, you know. I've read some of his posts. There's a couple of threads on the gear page about him, about his builds, lots of you know, photographic documentation, and it's really impressive. It reminds me of Schecter in the sense that it's a guy that was taking designs and attempting to make them better, tweak them, modify them for his own ears, his own tastes, and ultimately having an impact, you know. And I think this guy had an impact because you can tell that there was a lot of people that bought the guitars that really, really deeply cared about the guitars. Like one guy had like 4 or 5 of them. And it looks like he built guitars from sometime in the mid-2000s, like 2000 something, up until about 2012. It looks like it went cold. And maybe I don't know, I know nothing, I don't know anything about it. I did notice on 2018 there was a post on the gear page asking about it, and they said that he indeed had stopped building guitars as far as like building them to sell, and was taking a break and had gone to the coast. I don't know what any of that means. I don't know anything about any of it, except that the guitars look fantastic. These pickups look great. It has this little card in here that tells you the orientation of the, you know, the wiring and stuff like that, and it comes with a little sticker. So the whole thing is really cool. It just gives it like, I feel like having these special pickups, these hand wound, you know, vintage output pickups by a guy who is a beloved and respected guitar builder is, you know, it's like, it's perfect. It's the exact thing that I need for this guitar. It's like the exact little bit of magic, I think, that will just lift this guitar up and make it awesome, make the experience even more exciting for me when I play it and when I look at it, you know, because I like to just sit there and look at it, you know, in the room with me. So I'm really excited about these pickups. What a great thing to be able to go to your local store, find vintage hand-wound pickups that are exactly what you want, like right there in your small town. You know, I live in a pretty small city. It's not very big, and he was known for not having a lot of stuff, and now, you know, you can do this because of people like Tim. You know, pretty awesome. And this Ryan Gadow, I'm interested in his guitars now. Like I said, he reminds me of Schecter in the same way that Schecter was building stuff, you know, small scale, and it kind of word of mouth began to build up. People really love those guitars, and those guitars have a lot of value, and I would assume that the Gadow guitars seem like, the ones that are on the used market seem like they hold their value. You know, they're selling for over $1,000 and stuff like that, and they look really nice, like really nice top quality parts, and just, you can tell he really knew what he was doing, and it sounds like he put a lot of thought into these winds. So I cannot wait to see what this thing sounds like. In fact, I'm going to crank it up one more time with these pickups in it, and then I'm going to just quickly do what I did yesterday. Basically, rinse, repeat. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did yesterday. What's happening now, except that I'm going to put these babies in and take these out. So we'll just quickly, and I won't make you suffer through that whole process. Essentially what I'm going to do is I'll just do the same thing I did last night, loosen this up, pop the hardware off, get the pickguard off, heat up this solder, so we can remove these. These will go in, and then we'll do a quick demo and notice the difference. And I think it's going to sound, my guess is it's going to have a little less output, but it won't be that noticeable as far as volume goes. My guess is it's just going to sound a little sweeter, like maybe a little more highs, a little more tonal ambiance, instead of just being kind of serviceable like these were. Now, these sounded good, and I could rock these, but the more I looked at them overnight, they aesthetically are flat and boring, and they're just really cheap. They just feel cheap. So yeah, I think it will. This is a whole nother level, And I didn't have to spend a ton of money on them, so I still have the guitars at a reasonable amount of money that I put into it for it being a build. Okay, so really quickly, I'll just do a quick playing demo just so we'll have a sound sample to compare to the new pickups. It might be out of tune. Okay, really quickly, I'm going to show you how the wiring works on this. So this is a 4-conductor. So on this one, we have a black wire. That's our hot wire. And then this green wire here that has the ground, the drain wrapped around it, that's going to be ground. So we'll use this as ground, this is hot. These two we will wind together, this white one and this red one. I'll wind these together and kind of just roll this down and then just sort of roll this back towards the wire, and I will probably tape it off. I don't have any electrical tape with me, but I'll tape it down like that so it can't get so that wire can't touch anything inside. But so there we have our ground, which is green, our hot, which is the black wire. Since I'm not doing splits, I'm just using a 4-conductor as a 2-conductor, whereas if you were gonna split, you would use these for that. Check it out. I think this is like the finished look, for this guitar. It's just fantastic. It's like this is exactly what I want it to look like. And I did a quick sample just to make sure I'd connected everything correctly, and it sounds incredible. So these pickups are way better than those bargain budget whatever those things were. They're fine, and I really am big on run with what you brung, and just don't worry about it. Just rock your stuff and have fun, and it, make it sound good with what you have. But man, oh man, this is just like next level stuff. You know, it really is. They sound hot and they sound alive, and man, they're really something special. They remind me of the Schecter Super Rock pickups. It reminds me of the Schecter now. It has that same kind of power and growl. And remember, the output is not even that much. It just goes to show you that it's a beautiful frequency mix that happens when people get this right, you know, when they wind these things right. Man, it's really, really just, I feel very fortunate, really lucky. This is a beautiful day and a beautiful discovery, and I'm grateful to Tim at American Guitar Boutique, and I'm grateful to Ryan Gadow, who made these pickups, and I wish him the best out there. You know, I hope he's doing something that's making him as happy as, you know, that made him. So thank you. So let's hear it and see what it sounds like. Bridge pickup. Neck pickup. Playing like it should a year later. It's incredible. I really feel lucky. It's quieter than it was, a lot quieter. I don't have any shielding in here. It's really pretty quiet. Man, awesome. See you next time.